Sat Sri Akal and welcome to another episode of SKA Awaaz, Voices that Inspire. I'm your host Rasvinder Singh, and today we are honoured to bring you a story of discipline, resilience and quiet excellence. Our guest is someone whose achievements many in the wider community may not even realise. Yet his impact on Singapore athletics is remarkable. Chamkaur Singh Dhaliwal is one of Singapore's most outstanding middle distance runners. Best known for holding the national record in the 1,500 metres, a benchmark of speed and endurance in our sporting history. Born and raised in Singapore, Chamkaur trained on our local tracks, studied in our schools and represented our nation with pride at major regional meets including the SEA Games. His journey from neighbourhood fields of Sembawang to breaking national records is a powerful reminder that Sikh athletes have long contributed to Singapore's sporting landscape across generations, across disciplines and often without fanfare. Today we dive into his story, how he discovered running, what it took to reach the national level and what lessons he wants to share with the next generation of Sikh and Singaporean athletes. Sat Sri Akal and welcome to SKA Awaaz, Chamkaur.
Sat Sri Akal. Thanks for having me here, Rasvinder.
I hope you like the intro.
Yes, a long intro, very flattering, thank you.
Alright, so let's begin from the very start, the beginning of your life. Growing up in Singapore, you grew up in Sembawang. It's a well-known area to be a sporting hotbed. A lot of national athletes came out of Sembawang. You are one of them, carrying on the tradition of that area. So tell us about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about where I grew up from, and like I spent a little bit of time in my early days with my dad's side, and then when school was coming a bit more closer, when I was going to, I guess, kindergarten days, I stayed more with my nannies and my masis, who were in Naval Base and Sembawang, because I think before Sembawang was Naval Base. Yeah. And what I remember was it was a close-knit community and it was always active. I remember it always being active. Like, we will be playing soccer, there will be the men's and singles competition on hockey or soccer. Not much running back then, but just hockey, soccer. We would ride bicycles. I remember we would spray paint a bicycle and do a tour. There's three of us with my group, my childhood friends. We would dismantle the bicycles and repaint it, and it's okay, we're gonna go and visit all the temples with the bicycle. So it was a big, we were probably only about, I think 11 years old, 12 years old, and then we knew it was a bit dangerous to go riding on the road, but we didn't get far. But what I was trying to say is it's an active community, close knit. This morning I got up, went to temple, and I saw my old friends there, and they were all quick to give few banters, and even though I've not met them for the last 3 years, Okay. So it's so good. It's amazing.
All right, nice. And I believe you have some family history in hockey.
Yes.
Share with us.
Yes. Look, my mama used to represent Singapore in the SEA Games before it was called the SEA Games. All I remembered was a lot of black and white photographs that I've seen on posted on our Facebook chat and family chat. I would be dressed up in his gear. Okay. Those days they wear shirts with buttons and long shorts, and lots of photographs that I've seen. A lot of newspaper articles. I've not seen him play during in his heydays, but I've seen him play during club days, and a lot of just from conversation from friends and people that I know about how good he was playing hockey.
Okay, but so you would say representing the nation runs in your blood then?
I guess so. I mean, look, there's just two of us. I think my other mama, his brother, also represented Singapore at a different level, but
hockey
I think
as well?
Hockey as well.
Okay.
He was actually he was in the army, and he was the head of the PTI. So he was coming from a top background of athletics and gymnastics. So he's been like up to today he's still fit, very very fit. What is
I
it?
could say the same about you as well.
Thank you.
When it comes to running, where do you start? When and where do you start? Do you remember when you started?
I think it's from the community. Like they're also active. My senior peers, my uncle peers, all being active. Having a catch up after games subconsciously made me want to be one of them. And I played hockey as well. I played soccer as well. I guess as I grew and as I evolved, I realized that if I do running, I will just depend on myself. I have to put in the work. I don't have to worry about 11 players all committing to the same course. So I guess when I think I played for Khalsa for a little bit as well in a junior team. We used to go for a few trips here and there. It was quite exciting because it was just a phase for me at that point in time.
Okay.
And running was kind of there, lingering. And I realized I want to give running a go. We had our, Sajit Singh, our Sembawang great. He had the national record back then, and he was my mentor. And he was training me for a little bit when we were in Sembawang. And I remember speaking to him, and he says, I wish I could have gone further, Cham. He's telling me, he called me, I'm called Babalu is my nickname, but he called me Babalui. And he says, I wish I could have gone further, and not due to his fault. I guess there's environment wasn't there, or people around him didn't help support him. And it made me realize that I got to also give it a go. Don't waste the opportunity. So that kind of stick with me, and I think that's how probably running came about.
Okay. And when you were running with your peers, against your peers, do you notice that you got something extra over the rest of them? Like maybe it came naturally to you, naturally better to you, or was it a result of coaching as well and practice?
In primary school,
Yeah.
I was always at the back.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do very well, and it's not well or not well. It's just that I didn't I wasn't up there. So running wasn't there for me.
Okay.
So hockey and soccer was the thing that I used to play. When I went to secondary school, I don't know whether it's luck or I won the first cross country when I was in secondary one.
Okay.
Didn't train for it. I won that. Then when secondary 2 came, I said, I won last year, I think I better train for it. So I trained for two weeks, and I won again. And then that kind of gives you that confidence. You say, maybe I can run. Maybe I can do a bit of running here. So back to your question, it wasn't something that was natural to me, just from the primary school days. I think it was just keep hacking at it.
Okay. When do you realize that you could be a runner at a national level?
I think when I went to poly, I started to run a little well, just because I've been running. So with anything, if you just put in enough hours, you will eventually get good at it. It was during the poly time when I had a couple of we had this team. Mr. S. Pandin was the old previous 800 meter national record. He said, "I want to form a team called Extreme Fitness Team."
Okay.
And there was a relay going on, and he picked some of the national runners there. And I wasn't a national runner back then. And I said, "Cham, do you want to run for us?" And I was like, "Wow, I'm going to run with Ilango and Vera Mani and Ganesan was holding the 5,000 meter record. I said, I'm going to run with these guys. And I was like really, I felt that, they did see that I might do well as well. So we ran that race and we won that relay. And I think from then on, I got that hanging around with them, training a little bit with them. Like I said, it's sometimes it's a little bit with luck, with opportunities. You train and you still got to train. It's not going to come on your feet. Sometimes the doors open. You keep hacking at it.
Which poly was this?
I was in Singapore Poly. Yeah, and I remember the Singapore. We had the Poly 50. Were you in the Poly?
I was in the poly as well. Yeah, in Temasek Poly.
Temasek Poly. Okay.
Yeah.
It was new. I think that time we only had Nian in Singapore back then.
Okay.
And we had the Poly 50 where you do 50 laps. And you have a team. And I was running for the Indian association club there. It was a good event.
And what challenges do you face early on in this period of time, whether it's academically or culturally, physically?
It was having more training buddies. It was there's not many of us running. So you're kind of running alone by yourself most times. So when you're running alone by yourself, you tend to self-analyze and say, this is too hard, or I can't get far. So that was one of the challenge in terms of not having that pool of competition. So when you go to competition, there's a lot of fear, because it's only a few of us, and we all have to perform. So it was not enjoyable.
Who were the coach? Were there any coaches at that point of time that were guiding you?
Yes, Patrick Zender. I don't know if everyone will know about Patrick Zender.
Tok Janggut, right?
Sorry?
He's known as Tok Janggut or something.
Janggut, that's right. Yes. Yes, he was. When I met him, he said, "Have you got 6 years?" I said, "Yes." That's the commitment. He says, "You are going to wait for 6 years before you see any result. Let's train for 6 years first."
Okay.
So and the rest didn't turn up. So it was only myself and Pandyan. Pandyan was his old athlete, and Pandyan wanted to make a comeback. So it was just Pandyan and myself and Patrick, and I said, "Yep, 6 years." And I think that was when I was 24 maybe.
Okay. After NS, after national service.
I did a scholarship with the poly. I joined.
With the Air Force, is it?
With the Air Force.
I remember.
So you did the Air Force, and then you do your 3-year poly, and then you work for 6 years. But I ended up being there for 9 years because I love the Air Force.
Okay.
I love the work, play balanced lifestyle. So I was in the Air Force all along, and when I met Patrick, he was my long-term coach for a long time. Like prior to that, I said Sajid was helping me a little bit, but it wasn't very structured. It was just very casual.
Okay. Yeah. Coaching on an ad hoc basis, I would say. Which tracks were you running at? Were you practicing on?
Usually at Khatib track. That would be my main running area.
Yishun Stadium? Is that the
Yishun Stadium?
Yishun Stadium,
yeah.
Okay.
And Makrichi. We do a lot of runs in Makrichi. Love it there, it's good.
Yeah, with the nature around you as well.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, that's like this morning, just going for runs. You don't appreciate it when you're here and you look at it. This is so nice with the greenery, and it's how it's all curated.
It certainly beats running around the tracks in a stadium, right?
Well, when you do a lot of track, you have to run on the track because it's a very.
You're practicing for a race, for competition.
Not only that, it's a controlled environment. So when you're doing some sessions, you can then compare that with your other sessions. It's controlled because it's the same thing. There's no undulating grounds, and especially when you're nursing an injury as well, you go to the track and stay on the track because it's safe environment as well.
Okay. When it comes to races, what are some of your memorable races and achievements?
I would say the SEA Games in KL. That was my first SEA Games. I had big hope of winning it. My parents, when I was running here, I don't remember any of my family members actually come and watch me race. I only remember my Nanaji came and watched me run in the Makrichi 4.8 kilometer race, and I remember it very vividly. He was having some peanuts. He was standing at the corner and peeling that and eating, and I was at the start line, and I was like, I noticed that. But why that was memorable because everyone came. I got my family from Malaysia as well came. It was a big contingent. It was really nice. I wanted to do well there, but I didn't. End up coming 5th, but that was really memorable because the crowd was big, and also there's the supporters from my family.
Bukit Jalil Stadium.
Bukit Jalil, yes.
And you won a bronze medal in the next SEA Games.
The next SEA Game in
2004.
Vietnam, that's when I got the bronze.
Bridging that gap from 5th to 3rd, what do you do?
The time that we did in Vietnam was slower than the time that I did in Malaysia. So
So would you say the field got weakened? Was weakened?
I think it was a very tactical race. So I'm known for a very consistent pace, like go fast and hang in there. Whereas there's some runners, especially with the 800 meter background runner who got a bit more speed, they tend to slow down the race and then they kick the last 500. I had a lot of confidence in the Bukit Jalil race, but just didn't manage to. I wasn't nervous. I was excited. Sometimes you go into a race, you're nervous, and that is some of the negative energy pull you back, and sometimes
it weighs you down, right?
Weighs you down because you're thinking about all the thoughts and all that. But in this one here, I was looking forward to it. The vibe was good. I was feeling good. The warm up was good. Because usually the warm up will tell you how you perform. Because if you train consistently, your body will just perform. You'll know when your body will perform. Because it's not by luck.
Yeah.
Because you do this every time, every day.
Correct.
And we train twice a day sometimes, So if you do everything consistent, it's like clockwork. The body will just perform.
You set the national record for the 1,500 meters. How do you feel when you broke the record?
It was a very quiet evening that day. I remember it was on the 9th of February because it coincided with Patrick Zander's birthday and one of my master's birthday as well. So I remember that day quite vividly. I wasn't expecting to break the record that day. It was a qualifying for the state championships in Sydney. So it's only just runners, no supporters. There's quiet at night, 7 o'clock at night.
National Stadium?
This was at Olympic Stadium in Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah. So most of my races were all done there. So the national record was broken in Sydney.
Yeah.
So
you were trying to qualify for a state championship.
I was just having a race because as part of the season you do your interclub meets and you do your as you do part of your interclub meet. If you do meet the qualifying time, you go to nationals. In Australia, the nationals back then was faster than our national record. That's the level of standard. It's there. So if you get there, it's great because it's like being in a national competition, and then the national from there. From my perspective, it doesn't matter because we go based on the time. If you meet the time, you represent. Like in my case, represent Singapore to qualify for a meet or something like this.
And what it means to you to wear the Singapore colours?
Oh, it's amazing.
Was this ever something that you had a goal in your mind that one day I want to...
Absolutely. It was one of my goals. I remember speaking to this teacher, Chamkaur Singh. He was one of the SAAA officials back then. And I said, what does it take to qualify? And so you got to meet these marks and all these. So I had, and this was when I wasn't even training consistently yet. Sometimes when we have a plan, you say, I want to do this, but it's all very airy-fairy. The work that needs to be done, it's not. You haven't put in the work yet, but you're already thinking, I want to do this, I want to do that, or I want to achieve this, but there's no foundation. So I remember I had one of my goals, I want to represent Singapore as one of my objectives.
So tell us a bit more about that World Championship run. When was it held? In Edmonton, Canada, right?
That's right, it was in 2001. In Edmonton.
2001 as well, so it was quite a milestone year.
There's a lot of things happening that year.
Yeah.
That's the world scene. Like when you go there, you just like realize, okay, this is a different level. You'll take more time to get there.
There was also another athlete called Sarvinder Chopra who was also there.
Yes, he was a team manager. So
For Team Singapore.
for Team Singapore, it was only myself because in the world stage, if you don't have a qualifier, you can send one representative from the country, and every event, like from 100 meters all the way to the field events, when you do a time or a distance or a height, there's points associated to it. So if you run a 10 seconds, that's equivalent to say 995 points. If you do a 4 minutes 1500 meter, that's equivalent to 850 points. So I think that year, because I broke the national record, I had the highest point, and SAAA probably selected me to say, okay, you can represent the country, because you can send one representative.
So in the entire athletics contingent, there was only one representative, and that was you.
That was for that year, yes.
For that year,
Yeah.
okay. Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah. So
And the experience there, you came up against athletes from all over the world.
yeah,
What was that like in the races?
it's interesting. That's an international race. My feelings for international race are different from local races. When I say local races, I'm talking about not like Singapore or in Australia. The feeling is different, more around about myself. Like, you focus on your own race because these guys are just gonna kill you anyway. So don't worry about them. You just focus on your own race. Yeah. Whereas it's comparing to the local races, where in Australia or in Singapore, you're a bit more nervous because you're now competing. So you're forgetting a little bit about the foundations, and then you get distracted with, oh, he's faster than me, what we're going to do, and all that. So as I participated in a lot of races over the time, whether it's international or local, I've learned that I kind of experience that, okay, yeah, these guys are fast, but don't let that take that away. Don't just focus on your training. You've done your training. You give the best you can on that day. Yeah. So, but it's hard because they are going so fast. You get dragged along, and you're gonna get burn out very quickly because you get dragged so quick. You can't just run your own race, So you have to run with them.
Any tips you picked up from the world athletes, the best athletes in the world, best runners in your field?
Not tips in terms of running wise, but just picked up they're very humble.
They could be approached, and you could
they're very
approach
approachable.
them. Okay.
Like, I don't know if you remember the name Haile Gabriel Selassie.
Yeah,
he was the
I
world
remember
10K.
him. Yeah.
He was there, and I was just having and he was reading his newspaper, and I went to him and said, he just chat with you. So humble. There's no no air about, I'm a faster runner, don't come and talk to me. Yeah, so they're humble. I think those guys who are up there, they are very humble.
And then talking about representing Singapore as well, you're a Sikh wearing a turban in a race. What does that representation mean to you?
I look back to the Sembawang community and say, I'm another one of the Sikh community members, kind of keeping that legacy going. Because you mentioned earlier about the Sembawang being known for their sports. So we were known to be good at our sports, and when you come for even the Godora Cup here, the Sembawang boys or Sembawang Sikhs would have a strong team. So that's having a representation from the running area, and Sajid was well known, as well. Everyone knows what Sajid. So that's inspiring. Yeah.
Okay, and on that note also, were there any barriers or stereotypes you needed to overcome?
I didn't feel like that at all, because like I say, it's that community has been very, it's not like, you must perform. It's been very friendly, so everyone respects their effort, and they know what it takes as well in terms to get there. I feel that the running has given me a lot of respect for my peers. They say, you've done us proud. Even now I'm running in the Masters. I want to do. I'm still thinking about Sembawang, in my back of my mind. Like going for the World Masters or something. I said, it would be. I always think like the guys who are at having, when they have their catch ups, they say, Pablo did this race again, So they'll, we always talk about whoever in the community doing well in the sports. We always talk, oh, he's doing this and he's doing it. So it gives me the motivation to make them proud.
Can I just talk a little bit about conditioning and preparation for races? I mean, you're so fit now even. Back then, what kind of conditionings do you have to go through in terms of exercises, diet?
When I went to Australia, one of the reasons I went to Australia was more to kind of like wanted to be in a big pond rather than be a big fish in a small pond. Not to say that I was a big fish here, but that kind of analogy.
I understand.
There's more runners there. You don't feel the pressure. It becomes more fun. When you have only a few, then it becomes because the few that are here are all trying to perform. So there's a lot of pressure there, and I didn't quite like that. So when I was there, I stayed with one of the guys who was training for the Olympics, to qualify for the Olympics, for the Sydney Olympics. So this was back in '99. So we were living together, and I was just looking at his diet and his routine. We were both training under the same coach, and I said, "It's nothing special, man. It's really nothing special. No, we're not taking any supplements. We just have our normal breakfast, lunch, dinner. Just as long as not reasonably healthy, sleep reasonably well, and just train. Like we said, it's just very basic. Keep doing the running. There's nothing shiny about it. There's no special shoes to wear. There's no special clothes to wear. Just go out for a run. Just keep running and be consistent."
Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing, no like calorie counting,
nothing like
special stretches, yoga, stuff like that, or weight training.
We definitely stretches, and the stretching is usually when you're kind of winding down, like in front of a television. So in fact, when we are watching a television, we'll be actually stretching. We're not just sitting down there doing nothing, we're just stretching.
Okay.
Not all the time, but whenever you get the opportunity, you're thinking about it. So it was all about running, like what it takes, what you need to do to get there, and what will help you to train tomorrow well, all that little thing. But it's not over-analyzing, it's just very simple. Like, when you finish, for example, I assume you play soccer.
Yeah.
So after a soccer game, you go and replenish yourself, hydrate yourself, then you have a sleep. That basic stuff, that kind of stuff. Nothing. Yeah.
Okay. Nothing extraordinary.
Nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now you mentioned about moving to Australia, and the reasons why you've moved there. How many years has it been in Australia now?
It's been a while now. It's nearly half my life now, I think.
Wow.
Not quite, but it's getting there.
Okay.
So I decided to go there because partly was to do to see how far I can push the running, and being in an environment where I can be with a lot faster runners than myself, and see what it takes. Like I said, I was focused that I wanted to represent Singapore. I can't remember now whether before going there I did represented Singapore, because I went there in '99. SEA Games was 2001.
Okay.
But I was very single focused. Even when I left Singapore to do my degree there, because you can't just go there and then go and say I want to go and train. You need to have a visa, right? So I had my I did my engineering degree. That's an extension from my poly from the Air Force. So I quit the Air Force and said, look, I quit the Air Force because I said I want to not miss this opportunity. After speaking to Sajid many years ago, like this is not like 2 years ago. I'm talking about maybe 15 years ago. I remember that conversation. I said, you know what? I don't want to, when grow older, I said, what I should have gone there. So that's what I did. Quit here. Say, let's go there for 4 or 5 years and come back. And see what it takes to train at that level and come back. Yeah. So that was the plan. But as life brings you more opportunities, and I ended up being there now for much more longer, and my family's there now.
Your family's there as well, settled in.
Yeah, I'm pretty much.
Do you stay connected to Singapore and the Sikh community here?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
How do you do that?
We always catch up. When I'm here, we will catch up for food and drinks. If there is, if there is not so much now, everyone's getting older now, so they're not playing. But if they were playing soccer or hockey, I'll come and join them. I remember at DP Barracks, they will always play soccer, and I'll jog there, and then I'll join them, play a bit of soccer with them. And I think I learned a lot of hockey from them, so much. They're so skillful. Amazing.
I understand you're still continuing with your, I wouldn't say running career, but you're still running in races.
Yes, I am.
Are you coaching as well?
I'm starting to coach. Coaching some young kids, more so to show them that it can be done in a fun way. Too much analysis has been given to it, so I think if you make it fun, it would be nice to see someone moving through the ranks with having fun in the equation, because it's all about putting the number of hours in.
Yeah.
In a fun way.
These are Australian kids?
These are Australian kids, yeah.
Okay. And on that note also, your life philosophy, how has sports shaped your life philosophy?
I think there's so much to learn from that. It's about knowing that there's no short-term goals. Everything you need to put in time and effort to get something out of it. I think we are slowly thinking, if I just spend a bit of time here, I'll be up here. The instant gratification.
Yeah. That's what it is in today's world.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of information out there on YouTube, a lot of ways to train, to get better, and what it takes to be as good as a guy, including myself many years ago as well. I would, go and train still, and still will go and look at other information to see how can I get better and all that. And I just learned that actually that's all wasting energy. It's just doing that basic plain old boring running. Even there's a lot of different type of sessions people talk about. You do this session, you get fast. And any running will get you fast, but if you do it in a structured way, it's just trusting that process. I always tell people, be consistent. And I know it's a very abstract meaning, but consistent means that you in general go to bed around the same time. You say you're going to do training, you go and do the training. Yeah. You can skip here and there, obviously, but generally you would go and do your training. And you look after yourself. So you got to put in that commitment.
Yes, I completely agree with you, and that's a really good sound advice, especially in today's world. Now on advice as well, what advice would you like to give to sick boys and girls who want to pursue sports seriously?
They must be really passionate about it, because they get distracted very easily. You see, I know soccer is so big everywhere in the world. Yeah. Everyone's wearing a jersey of some sort, and there's some other sports where they put in so much hours. The world-class athletes not getting any recognition. The soccer is just taken over everywhere, and every parent wants their kids to be the next soccer star, right? Yeah. So that's a distraction. But you must be passionate about it and say, okay, yes, I want to be there, but you got to put in the effort and that consistency. So first you need to be passionate. And I think most people are passionate, but is it the right passionate level? Or is that a distraction from, that's a shiny thing, I want to get there, and then when the hard work comes, when no one's looking, do you still want to be there? So so when you have passion and everything, it's you don't care about obstacles anymore, because you want to get there. And then putting goals in, writing them down. I was very clear with I had short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. So short-term goals could be like, doing so much of training. Medium-term goal is like, okay, I want to run in this race, and long-term I want to represent Singapore, something like that. Because those goals then becomes more real when you're passionate about it. And I come back to consistency. So you then repeat, rinse, repeat. Like Patrick Zander said, if you got 6 years, I was willing to give 6 years, and I was willing to have no results for 6 years and just keep training and trust the process. And I think it's that do not expect instant results.
And how important is discipline compared to talent? So this is always a age-old debate on talent versus discipline.
It's always the discipline one that triumphs. If you look at most of the top runners, they're actually not talented as some real talented runners. So discipline outweighs because it's more sustainable than a talented personality. You come and go, but you cannot maintain it. So it's good to have a talent plus a discipline. Then that's when you have to beat that.
Yeah.
So I guess you get the likes of the Formula One drivers. They've got talent and they've got the discipline. Yeah. So then that makes the sport even harder to get because they are the cream of the cream.
Is there anything you wish you knew at the start of your journey, having looked back in your life now?
I guess more support around the training methodologies. Like it has changed in the last 10 years, where running slow is actually beneficial in running fast to get fast. Whereas those days we were always pushing. Even our easy runs we were pushing. Nowadays we're actually not pushing. We actually ask even the new science that has comes out. It's like you run really slow when you're meant to run slow. So I wish I had that knowledge, because I believe that because of that, injury came in and then that slows you down. So yeah. So if you can stay consistent and sustainable, then you will get there faster but slower, but you'll get there.
Eventually.
And you got to trust the process.
Yeah.
You got to trust the process.
And also without injury. Injuries will take some time out of your journey as well.
When you're young, you can bounce back very quickly because the science is there to help you. Medicine is there to help you. But when you get older, probably not.
Absolutely agree. Finally, your message to the Singapore Sikh community listening in to you today.
I would say whatever chosen field they're hoping to excel in, get mentors, speak to them, because they got a lot of experience that they can impart that you can quickly learn without you going through yourself. Let them guide you and be humble.
Humility is very important as well. Nowadays, today's world is a lot of showing off. People like to do a lot of that.
Yeah, I think that's why there's a lot of shiny stuff out there. There's a lot of information, the YouTubes and all that, and get distraction. And I think that's a distraction.
The Reels, Instagram, TikTok.
And you think you're going to find the next best thing, but there's nothing there. There's enough of hours and there's hacking at it.
So we're going to ask you 7 quick fire questions. And the first thought that comes to your mind, just answer it. Don't spend too much time thinking about the question. Okay, the first question will be sunrise runs or sunset runs?
Sunrise runs.
Okay. Mom's dal roti or wife's pasta?
Mom's dal roti.
What does Chardi Kala mean to you in real life?
Chardi Kala. Rejoice or joyful.
The track grind or road run vibes?
Track grinds.
If there's one word to describe Chamkaur, what would it be?
Passion.
Race day shoes, Asics or Nike?
Nike.
If you could break one more record, which one's calling you?
5,000 meters.
Okay. Finally, if not for athletics, which sports would you get into?
Field hockey.
Field hockey. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chamkaur, joining us on this meaningful episode of SKA Awaaz. Today we were reminded that greatness does not always arrive with noise. Sometimes it comes quietly through discipline, humility, and a deep belief in one's purpose. Chamkaur Singh Dhaliwal's story is not just the story of a record-breaking athlete. It is the story of a community's potential, a small community's strength, and a young boy's determination to outrun every obstacle placed before him. To all our listeners, especially our youth, we hope you take away this message. You don't have to be the fastest to start, but you must start to discover how far you can go. We thank Chamkaur for sharing his journey, and we thank you for listening, supporting, and uplifting the voices of our community. This is Raswinder Singh, and you've been listening to SKA Awaaz, the voices that inspire. Until next time, stay grounded, stay inspired, and keep running your own race with courage.